Dexter Resurrection is a highly anticipated sequel that brings back the vigilante serial killer Dexter Morgan. The series also introduces new villains from a killer club founded by billionaire venture capitalist Leon Prater. Prater maintains a popular public persona. He appears in TV interviews and makes generous donations to respected organizations like the NYPD. This serves as a camouflage for protecting his morbid obsession. Privately, Prater recruits serial killers to his personal network. He sees killing as an art and collects memorabilia in his secret vaults to honor legendary serial killers and their craftsmanship. This leads Prater's path to cross with Dexter, a serial killer who only kills other killers that escape justice. After killing a serial killer who preys on rideshare drivers in New York City, Dexter adopts his identity to infiltrate Prater's group. Within the circle, he's known as Red Schmidt, or the Dark Passenger. Prater is Dexter's exciting new challenge, a perfect prey to satiate his killing urges while reinstating justice. Dexter is the anti-hero and Prater is the ultimate villain. Despite their adversarial roles, they actually have shockingly similar psychopathy. This video will discuss whether Dexter's greatest enemy is also his soulmate. Dexter and Leon Prater share very similar origin stories. They were both victims of unjustified killings when they were children, and they both developed a fascination with killing as adults to regain power and control. Leon Prater's parents were killed in a hit-and-run. A drunk driver deliberately crashed into their vehicle out of anger after a fight with his girlfriend. Prater survived in the back seat and had to watch his parents die. Dexter's mother was murdered and dismembered with a chainsaw by drug dealers seeking revenge after uncovering her identity as a police informant. Dexter was left with his mother's remains in a shipping container for 2 days until the police discovered him. He was then adopted by Detective Harry Morgan, who felt guilty for failing to protect his informant. Being trapped in a confined space with death at a young age was a formative trauma for both Dexter and Prater. Their transformation from victims to perpetrators is a way to overcome the fear and helplessness they experienced as children. While Leon Prater doesn't directly engage in murders for the most part, his sense of power and control comes from manipulating and objectifying serial killers. Prater's fascination with serial killers started when he confronted the driver who killed his parents. It's not uncommon for victims to seek closure, but Prater got more than that. Knowing what the driver was thinking when he killed gave Prater a sense of control. He felt empowered by figuring out the mind of a killer, because understanding someone's motivation and weakness makes it easier to manipulate them.
I was never going to be that scared little boy in the backseat. Never. Ever again.
Since then, Prater has recruited the most notorious serial killers, enticing them with financial incentives and a sense of community. In return, they serve as entertainment and feed Prater's morbid obsession. In this transactional relationship, Prater has the upper hand. He has his security guard Charlie keep a close eye on his recruits and gather their personal information to use as leverage. Even though Dexter tried to be elusive, Prater still managed to find his son, Harrison. As the new member of the club, Dexter was Prater's shiny new toy. Prater is fascinated by the Dark Passenger's kills and his mind, but Prater's true desire is to dominate the game.
I'm still in charge. The Dark Passenger is mine.
When Prater is no longer interested in a killer, or worse, they get caught by police, Prater will discard them by sending Charlie to get them killed. Prater is no longer a victim of a senseless murder. He's now the master of the most dangerous killers. Dexter, on the other hand, finds empowerment directly from killing. He has a methodical approach. Like a detective, he first collects evidence and stalks his victims. After learning their patterns, he captures his victims by injecting a tranquilizer to render them unconscious. He then takes them to his kill room that he prepares in advance. And when his victims are naked, wrapped in a plastic cocoon, and restrained to his kill table, he wakes them up and forces them to confront their crimes before stabbing them in the heart. Every step of his kill ritual is meticulously executed with precision and control. This doesn't just satiate Dexter's killing urges, it also allows him to reclaim his power. This time, he has control over the situation. He's the one inflicting pain and suffering, and he's the one deciding the fate of the monsters that kill the innocent. While he couldn't protect himself when he was a child, he can now defend the safety of other innocent people. It's a way of rewriting his narrative and empowering his inner child. Seeking belonging is another strong motivator for both Dexter and Prater. Growing up as orphans can be very lonely, especially when combined with psychopathic tendencies and a secret obsession with murder. Dexter and Prater don't feel understood by regular people. The solitude they experience drives them to seek belonging in unconventional ways. Prater felt a strong connection with the man who killed his parents. He wrote letters to him and visited him in prison until he passed away. A study by Emory University found that psychopaths are often attracted to others with psychopathic tendencies. They feel a sense of pleasure and stimulation from committing acts of deviance. In a world where such behaviors are punished and frowned upon, psychopaths tend to feel trapped and isolated. Prater finds a sense of camaraderie from his parents' killer and the serial killers in his network. He indulges in the intimate details of their gruesome murders, living vicariously through them. This relieves him from the pent-up pressure of concealing his identity and suppressing his compulsions to commit crimes. Building a community of like-minded criminals stimulates Prater and gives him a sense of belonging. Similarly, Dexter seeks belonging in his son, Harrison. In the previous season, Dexter discovered that Harrison has killing urges like his own, so he taught Harrison how to dismember and dispose of bodies and introduced him to the moral code created by Dexter's adoptive father, Harry. Only kill other murders, never kill an innocent person, and never get caught. He thought this was the start of a father-son vigilante duo, but his dream burst when he accidentally killed Officer Logan to escape from jail. Logan was not just an innocent man, he was also Harrison's wrestling coach. This shattered the father image for Harrison. He insisted that Dexter turn himself in since he broke the code. Not wanting to go to jail, Dexter asked Harrison to shoot him. It seems crazy that any parent would want to put blood on their child's hands. But for Dexter, this is how he can connect with his son, by making Harrison a killer of the evil like Dexter himself. This way, Dexter can be understood and can even pass on his legacy. Dexter was able to survive the gunshot thanks to the cold weather that slowed down his blood loss. When Dexter woke up from coma, he initially didn't want to reconnect with Harrison, who has already moved on and started a new life in New York City. But when he heard about a recent murder of a sex predator whose body was separated into 9 parts, he was like, wait a minute, this sounds like what I taught my son. Like any responsible serial killer parent, Dexter moved to New York City to help his son clean up his crime scene. This time around, Dexter is more careful with his parenting approach.
I promise I won't try to mold you in my image ever again.
But is this true? After saving enough money from working at a hotel, Harrison began to consider a career in law enforcement. Like his dad, Harrison felt a strong sense of responsibility for protecting the innocent from harm. He killed a sex predator to protect a hotel guest. While working in law enforcement is a fitting career choice for protecting the community, it's not the healthiest thing for someone with killing urges. It's like being a drug addict and working at a pharmacy. You'll be constantly triggered and tempted. Dexter should know this best. He worked for the police as a blood spatter analyst and abused his work privilege to access case files. If Dexter truly wanted Harrison to stay away from trouble, he would have steered him away from exposure to crime. But Dexter fully supported Harrison's career choice and went to police school orientation with him. When Dexter met Harrison's girlfriend, it initially appeared as though he was being a cool dad by slipping Harrison condoms for spending the night with her. But it was later revealed that the protection Dexter gave his son was actually a tranquilizer. One could argue that this is for protecting Harrison from Prater and Charlie, but if Harrison's safety was a non-negotiable priority for Dexter, he wouldn't have called Harrison when he was trapped in Prater's vault. Prater had discovered that Dexter's true identity is a Bay Harbor butcher, and when Dexter refused to give Prater a live performance of his kill, Prater locked him in the vault to die. Dexter hesitated to involve Harrison at first, but he gave in to his survival instinct and told himself that if he died, he wouldn't be able to protect his son in the future. Prater would still pose a threat to Harrison. But this logic is flawed because the safest option that guarantees Harrison's safety would be to call the police and expose Prater. But of course, this would also compromise Dexter himself. In the final confrontation, Prater held Harrison at gunpoint. He was on a killing spree. Dexter offered himself in exchange for mercy for Harrison, but when this failed, Dexter said to his son, "I'm sorry I couldn't give you the protection that you needed." This was a hint for Harrison to use the tranquilizer on Prater. As we know from Dexter's kill routine, what's waiting for Prater is nothing but the kill table. And just like that, Dexter and Harrison completed their first kill together as father-son duo. Killing together is obviously not a conventional father-son activity, but is something that brings Dexter a sense of belonging. Dexter's struggle with solitude is a recurring theme in the sequel. He had to hide his identity from almost every loved one, his wife Rita, his sister Deb, and Harrison when he was younger. Dexter's adoptive father Harry was one of the very few people who knew about Dexter's killing urges, and Harry ended up committing suicide because he was traumatized after seeing Dexter dismember a victim. We can only imagine the devastation and loneliness Dexter felt from being rejected by his own father. The man who saved him and raised him ended up being repulsed by the monster Dexter had become. If his own father couldn't even accept him, then who can? Can Harrison? So Dexter invited his son into the most intimate secret, because to Dexter, the only way Harrison could accept him is by becoming him. Dexter also felt a sense of belonging with Prater.
Being around like-minded people. It was intoxicating.
There was an undeniable attraction in the dynamics of their relationship. We could see the chemistry between two expert manipulators who were very good at faking emotions and using flattery to win others over. But there's a fine line between being soulmates and being nemesis, and that line is justice. While Dexter exhibits antisocial traits, he's not a psychopath like Prater, because Dexter has strong morals and he's capable of forming emotional attachments and feeling remorse. This is the biggest difference between Dexter and Leon Prater. Dexter aims to channel his killing urges towards serving justice. Sure, he's messed up before, but he never intentionally preyed on innocent people. This sequel was named Resurrection as a reference to Dexter surviving being shot in Iron Lake, but I think killing Prater also symbolizes Dexter's resurrection. Prater represents Dexter's evil side, and Harrison represents the good in him that Dexter aims to preserve and hold on to. The Statue of Liberty in the ending scene symbolizes that Dexter was able to find freedom by confronting his true self. He has accepted that his innate killing urges and his need for love and belonging can coexist. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content.